Hi Deepesh, how are you?
I'm good, Venkatesh. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. Shall I let the audience in?
Yeah, that's fine.
Hey, hi everyone. Good evening, good afternoon, good night, wherever you're joining from. Feel free to unmute yourself, and we still have five couple of minutes to start the session. You can talk about where you're joining from. Hi Deepesh, let's give a couple of minutes. Let's see people will be
Okay,
joining. I'm just putting it on LinkedIn and all other channels.
okay.
Yeah, Dipesh. So we can start. So we'll have people joining.
Okay.
So hi everyone, this is Venkatesh. Welcome to our session 10 of Copilot in D365 F&O, sorry, D365 and Power Platform. So we have our speaker Dipesh along with us. Thank you, Dipesh. Thanks for your time and accepting our invite to present in our Middle East user group. Uh, Over to you, Dipesh. Dipesh, are you there? If you're there, you're on mute. Okay, no worries.
All right. Thank you, Venkatesh. Am I able to be visible as well as am I audible
Yes.
properly?
Yes, you are.
All right. Thank you for the opportunity to present to the Dynamics 365 user group in Middle East. So today we are going to talk about Copilot. Normally, Copilot does take a lot of time in terms of running, right? In terms of a demo. So I've tried to package a lot of parts of it, especially around C. In C, we will talk more on the sales side and we will go through some examples as well. Then we're going to cover a bit on the Canva app side of house, Power Automate, and a bit on Copilot Studio as well. Now let's see how much we can cover and how much time permits. But in interest of time, what I have done, guys, is I have captured a lot of videos in terms of demonstration within the deck so that we can save some time in terms of running those, right? Because sometimes when you run it, it's pretty new technology. It can take a bit of time and we cannot cover as much ground. So let me know once you are able to see my screen.
Yes, Dipesh, we can see.
All right, great. So let's talk about a bit about me. So if that's okay, because Venkatesh just put it on over on me, so I'll give a bit of introduction for myself. I've been around for quite a while now in this space, and especially in Dynamics and then later in Power Platform. This is my 18th year in industry. I have been working with communities in different parts of the world, and I have been doing a lot of work, especially around Dynamics 365 CRM, which we used to originally call. I'm one of the guys who started with CRM 4.0 version, and thereafter was lucky enough to have the transition to the cloud world, and then what the added world which we have now with Power Platform. And I have been blogging as well. This has been more than 11 years of blogging in this space. So if you have ever found an article or if you have been ever benefited from what knowledge I gained during my journey, I'm glad to share it back to the community. I always recommend that you also do share it back to the community as well. Some of the awards, recognitions, and publications that I have done on the way. So, my blog is one of the top 100 blogs awarded by FeedSpot, and I've been getting that since 2017. Now I am MVP alumni. As time has progressed, I'm more of an MVP alumni from last year, July. But again, I always say the journey itself is an award, so keep continuing on that journey. And when Venkatesh invited me to share some insights, it's been a while, and I wanted to share it with the greater audience. I've been MCT. MCT is something I'm carrying forward still. Now, let's talk about the agenda. I think enough time spent on the introduction, and let's talk about the agenda, what we need to cover. It's quite a lot that we need to cover today. We're going to start with introduction to the Microsoft Copilot in Dynamics 365 CE and Power Platform, overview of Copilot capabilities within Dynamics 365 CE. How does integration of Copilot happen with different Power Platform components? What exists as of today? Enhancing business processes. How do you go ahead and enhance business processes using Copilot? Case studies, well, I'm just going to have a quick talk about it. If that's why I said later part of the journey is because there's so much to cover. If there is certain things that are we can cover, great. What are future roadmap and updates and Q&A session, right? So there are few things that I always share in my session. It will be interactive session, and I hope Venkatesh will be assisting me in that. So rather than me
Yes.
starting, I just want one of the or some of the attendees to talk about what do you think this entire Microsoft Copilot is about, right? Like before we dwell into some demonstrations and what's coming and what's not, if anybody want to share what really the Microsoft Copilot is about, because it's been almost a year that Microsoft has been really active in propagating them that to different customers, partners, communities, and individuals, right? It is across the board. We are only going to talk about one subset, which is within Dynamics and Power Platform, but you must have heard about this Microsoft Copilot. So if anybody wants to throw light on what do you think this Copilot suite is all about from Microsoft? Anyone from the audience?
Guys, feel free to raise your hand. I'll allow the mic if anyone wants to speak. Okay, I'm allowing mic for everyone. So now you're free to talk. Yes, everyone is allowed.
Anybody want to talk on what do you think Microsoft Copilot is about? And if not, we are not going to have a little bit of interaction to start with. That's totally fine. I will move forward to the next deck, but it would be great if we have interaction during this particular session today. Anyways, if in
I
interest
think
of time,
let me talk, so Deepesh.
yeah,
So
sure, sure.
I think now the Copilot is there everywhere. So AI from past 1 2 years everywhere. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So now the way we work, the way we do the documentation we do, and now if you see in our Windows platforms, the Copilot preview is also available. The way we write the emails were changed. The way we were using the system was changed. Now I think recently it started giving the functionalities in the finance as well, right? So but still it's a pretty few, but they are doing a lot of work on top of it, right? And earlier it was called Microsoft Biz Apps. Now they are calling it as AI ERP. So that means Microsoft is definitely putting their effort in this area.
Yeah, that's great, Venkatesh. So I will just take one example before I dwell into that. Last week, I was into one of the university hackathons locally held in one of the universities in India. And AI is such a key term, as you were telling, right? Even in the university space. So one of the students just defined AI and the Copilot like this. It is something that will help me do my repetitive task easily. And I said, that's good enough for being a student. So even students today are utilizing that. There are not only the Dynamics, Biz Apps, and Power Platform side of the house, there is definitely, if you see things in Windows, if you see things in Outlook, in Word, in Excel, in the things we use day to day as a consumer, right, where students are also utilizing it, they find it useful in doing those repetitive tasks and doing it quickly enough. And then there was a lot of talk about chat gpt as well, and we see a lot of things that Microsoft has done in that space as well. So it's really something that started from there, where everybody's talking about AI, but Microsoft being one of the leading platforms today in terms of integrating that and putting that to real world use cases for their entire clients and we as implementers. So anyways, let's talk about Copilot in general, and we'll talk about what are the different features that are available within Copilot. Now, I would want to start with Copilot and Dynamics 365 Sales. So since I'm going to cover between Dynamics 365 C and Power Platform, I will start talking about what's available as of today. Now, what we are discussing is definitely that's going to enhance, right? Microsoft is going to come up with enhancement as we keep dwelling on this. So this is as of 29th of March 2024, what exists. But believe me, that's definitely going to change in the near future, right? As more and more enhancements and things start coming. Now let's talk about Copilot in Dynamics 365 Sales. What is available with this is an innovative AI assistant to enhance your sales. Now, Dynamics 365 Sales app is always available to us. It's standard. It has been available for X number of years in the cloud. What Copilot does is it helps us with our day-to-day task and enhance our usage of this particular engine, right, to give more productivity around sales. It's also designed to give more efficiency to my sales team. There are multiple things that you can utilize, like a chat interface. You can quickly access your vital information. You can get a support. You can be more productive around your daily task and customer interaction. And there is a significant advancement. So we'll talk about five things in general, and we'll quickly get into demonstration mode as well, where I quickly package some demos within the deck so that it is faster and we cover more about the knowledge than we talk about waiting for something which is in progress or something. In interest of time, I have embedded video demos within the deck. But let's talk about what kind of feature sets make up the Copilot in Dynamics 365 Sales. So first is record summarization. Now, there are many lengthy documents and many lengthy things in our records which exist. And many times we create our custom fields, or we go ahead and create a lot of customizations are done around the sales tables, right? Or the information which is configured across different stages of a particular process, or some things that we create on our own. The record summarization, what it does is it summarizes the key points, and it can help me from the a point of view from lengthy documents or those lengthy records, and give me capture of the essential information. Then there is email assistance. We all are the salespeople specifically fire a lot of emails during their sales process in different stages, right from the cold calling or drafting the first mail about certain product or service to the customer to closing the deal. There are a lot of emails being exchanged, so you definitely need assistance in that side. So how does sales email assistance help there? You can draft and edit and manage this effectively. You can make it better and manage a more professional communication with your customer. Record catch up. You can quickly get an update on the missing information from your different meetings, emails, or other communication. That is what record catch up is about. Meeting preparation. You can organize and prepare necessary materials and agendas to ensure your meetings are more productive in nature. News update. You can provide summaries of the latest news relevant to your interest or industry. So it can assist you in terms of getting that information and quickly helping you there. These kinds of features are pretty useful when you're going on certain meeting with the customer. You are on the move. You have to quickly opening up your sales app and you're getting an update. Okay, what is going on around this particular industry or around this customer? So these kinds of AI enhanced features are available. We will first see record summarization and email assistance live here. So I will just what I'm going to quickly do is I'm going to quickly play up this part in the demo. So what's happening here is I'm going to try out is get info. Within get info, I have summarization of a lead. So if I click on summarize lead, what this one will particularly help me is in whatever lead information, recent lead information is there for giving a kind of quick summary to me. As you can see for Fisher Young, what is the lead created, what is the rating which is warm, the preferred method of contact, all this is available to me so quickly, right? So while we were talking, it generated. I can click on copy to email over here, and then what will happen quickly is whatever information is available, I can quickly churn up an email based on that particular information just by getting the information. And this is already churned into my mail. Now, let's say this is very small mail compared to what I want to write. What I can do is I can adjust it. I can say, make it long and make it more formal. And then I can click on update. This is in turn just quickly going to change it around, and it is going to help me change the body. So here you go. It just changed that particular body, and I can quickly draft a mail and send it over to my customer over here. Any questions till this point, or we can summarize them and take it towards the end? I'm okay with both. And in order to assist, this was a quick demo around what can be done with record summarization and email assistance. So here's a beautiful use case that you can utilize in your customer scenarios to write those meaningful mails. Might be based on summary, you get a longer email, you want to turn it short, that works in reverse as well. This is one of the beautiful scenarios that has been lit up with the Copilot for sales. Any questions till this point? Just you can raise hand, or you can just unmute yourself or ask, or I'll quickly move forward. So here I'm taking another demo in since there is no question. So what is happening in this one is, um, again, I'm going ahead and let me just go back on this. This is about record catch up and a news update scenario. So if I want to just quickly ask a question and I want to quickly gather some updates around a particular information, so there are few accounts there that are available. I can quickly say get info. I can say show my pipeline. I can get a quick info about my pipeline. So here's the pipeline of the open opportunities I got. I can quickly pick one of them and then say summarize. So I have picked up Zipto automobiles, and sometimes it doesn't tweak in. So I wanted to capture that in video format as well, but sometimes it doesn't kick in. But see, for Cannibal Mobiles, based on the information captured, I'm able to get, okay, this is a particular stakeholder named Adrian Macmillan, who is a contact. This stakeholder is also associated with the with the opportunity through a entity called Connexion. So this is connected to me with that kind of information. This is something which is useful to me when I'm going for a last minute meeting or I'm going for a prepared meeting, but I didn't get time to catch up, and I just want to see based on whatever is updated in my sales app where I am, right? So I wanted to see what kind of pipeline I have got, and then I wanted to see some summary of the opportunity. And based on that, I can quickly get the information in and go into a more meaningful meeting and conversation with my potential customer than just going in unprepared, right? So some beautiful scenarios that help in your overall sales pitch to your customer, makes you more productive. We'll also talk about sales copilot. What basically, if somebody asks you for a definition, what the sales copilot is capable of, right? So you can see a different set of things you can do. You can summarize your opportunity. You can prepare for an upcoming meeting. You can see a latest news on a particular account or industry specific thing if you want to go and looking for it. You can do a catch up on an opportunity. You can do a catch up on a lead, and you can summarize lead. At this stage, this is what is available, right? I have not gone and done a prepare for upcoming meeting, but what it can do is it can quickly give me a summary, which will help me going into an appointment with a potential customer or an existing customer, right? So that way it makes me way productive than going there without any AI assistance or any tool. Now, whatever information we are capturing is based on whatever data that we are capturing. I see there are a few questions. I will take it up because these are all going to be covered in our later conversation. Do see a question around custom tables. We'll talk about it, right? What are available at this stage? So you can see you have AI generated lead and opportunity summaries to streamline your sales process and close deals faster. You can do a customer meeting preparation. Now, what does customer meeting preparation help me in? I can consolidate my previous meeting notes and significant discussions. I can do identification of some outstanding issues and concerns which require attention. I have an integration with CRM to provide a more holistic view of my customer interaction. I can get a real-time set of tips and suggested answers during the team meetings. Now, there are some dynamic suggestions I can really get for handling mentions of various competitors, or I can get about specific brands. I can go ahead and get some strategies for steering some conversations positively. I can get an enhancement of a sales representative response with more of data backed rebuttals and affirmation than just going ahead and just giving some enhancement around certain thing. Customer email survey summary and follow up. We just saw that it's a contextual analysis of email conversations. I can effectively do follow up actions based on that. I can get generation of suggested replies, which I can categorize as short, long. I can change the tone of those replies. I can make them formal. I can make them more friendly. And this is all backed with the coordination with the CRM data to ensure that I am very consistent and relevant in my communication. Many times it happens, we are talking about a particular set of email that has to be dropped to a customer, but not every time a sales guy in a hurry or trying to capture more deals for the organization is able to see each and every record and create, and might have some typo or have some issue with the relevant data that is underneath stored in the application, right? These kinds of things are mitigated very easily. So that's what we have at the moment with Sales Copilot. We'll also talk about one more in which we are going to do summarization of opportunity via Microsoft Copilot. So I'm going to go ahead and say, okay, what changed for this particular opportunity for me? And I'm going to just go ahead and ask this particular engine, what's changed on this opportunity for me? Now, it is asking me again which opportunity I'm looking for. I'm looking for Zepto automobiles, and then I'm going see, there have been no updates to this particular opportunity, so it just returned me. There is no update to Zepto automobiles in the last 7 days or so. Now I can go ahead and say summarize this particular opportunity. When I click on the summarize opportunity, again, this time I'm taking Cantabile Mobiles as an example. Now it is going ahead and getting this opportunity info. This is linked to a stakeholder named Abraham McMorrick, who is also a contact in my system. I can quickly click on copy to email, and then the same quick email drafting is available to me with more relevant information. And I can just quickly get this information right in the email. If I wanted to adjust this with Copilot, I can definitely click in, and I can again change the tone, or I can change the length of this particular mail. So I'm just going to turn it long, and I might turn it more formal, again update it. What this is going to help me with this is quickly going to adjust this email, and I can just type it on top of this rather than just going ahead and typing from scratch. And the data is back from CRM data or sales app data. Now I can also go ahead and say, uh, okay, this is just repeat on the particular video. So there's again, it's just repeat. So before we move forward, any particular questions on this part? The question on custom tables I'll take towards the end. That's if that's okay. Any other questions apart specifically on the sales app side on the capabilities we saw? All right. So that was about a bit of demonstrations that I wanted to cover on the um, sales side of things. Let's talk about Microsoft Copilot in a Canva app. Now, Microsoft Copilot can be integrated into Canva app experience as well. And we know when we want to light up a Canva app scenario, right? When we have a very specific task, when we want more intuitive experience, which is more tailored to a particular set of tasks or certain things which are only for a specific kind of use case, then we use Canva apps. Now, what Copilot can help me, it is an AI-powered chat experience that I can add to my app user. I can allow users to interact with the app through the natural language conversations as well. What is useful for makers? Makers can add the Copilot control to any Canva app and specify the data it can interact with. Now, to enable Copilot for a Canva app, administrator first turn on the feature in their environment settings. The browser language must be set to English United States to use the Copilot component. This is currently when I actually ran it, this is what happens. You need to do just few things before you can enable it. And users as well as makers can provide feedback on the Copilot responses within the app, right? So your users as well as makers can really get benefited from it. Now, describe things you want in your app. So if you open a Canva app and you want to start for something like, okay, I want to create something around employee data. So I'm going for a quick demo creation, which we do normally many times if we are in our internal IT setup or we are implementing it for our customers. Many times we want a quick demo setup to be done. So what I need to do is I just need to type it in employee data. And if I tweak it in, the AI powered engine will pick it up and Copilot will assist me in creating that particular app. But before we do that, what we need to enable, you need to enable, if you want to use it within Canva app, you need to enable Copilot component in your environment settings. And if you want to use the chatbot component, you need to enable that also. This is available under in your Canva app settings under upcoming features tab, right? So if you enable this, then only you can go ahead and basically get the features to work in a live scenario. Now, creating columns with description provided. The new Copilot control can also take data that is in your app and provide a robust conversational experience. User can ask question about the data and get insight and answers very quickly. So here I churned up an employee data table. and I can quickly add up more kind of columns into it. I can ask some relevant information about this, right? Like the employee data table is available. So if you see suggestions on the left hand side of the screen, you can change certain thing to certain thing. You can add a column, add a row, remove certain row, change the data type if you wanted. You want to refresh the data, or you can ask for giving a suggestion as well. The engine also gives certain set of suggestions. We will see it in live as well once we run it in a for a video format going ahead. Another thing which we can do is we can you can get a responsive copilot. I have already created the Canva app and I want to do certain thing like adding a text label, gallery, button, email screen, some of the examples that are listed on the right hand side on the copilot, right? This all things also we can definitely go ahead and do already once the app is already created, then if we wanted to do it. Now, what I'm going to do next is we are going to quickly see how easy it has become with Copilot to create certain degree of applications. If I wanted to go ahead and create an app just using Microsoft Copilot, what I need to do? I just need to say, okay, I want to create a Canvas app for certain thing. Okay, I want to create a Canva app over here on employee data. So all I will do is I will type this information in and run it. What's going to happen is it will automatically help and create some kind of sample data for me. Let's wait for that to churn up. So you can see employee ID, first name, last name, email, all this information being generated over here. Now, what I want is I want to go ahead and I want to add a particular column. So I want to add a manufacturing unit, let's say, just for my business requirement or for demonstration that we are doing right now. So I added a manufacturing unit and I just typed it in and then ran it. It's going to churn that. It is going to update the table. If I scroll towards the right hand side, you will see a manufacturing unit with certain example units like unit 1 to 5 have already been added. Now, if I click on create app, it will create an app automatically for me. So this will be based on whatever data we churn, and certain set of things are already prerequisite available to me. What more if I wanted to do certain changes using Copilot, that is also available towards the right hand side of the screen. You can see the Copilot in review. I will let it load. And you can see I can click on skip and all this information, including the gallery and other things are available. If I wanted to do certain changes, creations, or ask certain thing to be done, I can do it from here as well, right? So if I go and say I wanted to add certain thing, I can just say add a new screen for emails. So I'm just wanting to add an email screen also to my app. If I click on it and I tap on it, what's going to happen is Copilot is automatically going to pick it up and it's going to add that particular thing directly onto the screen, and it understands. It's not like there is an AI engine to it. So it does understand that I want to do it for certain thing. Now, certain times it doesn't turn up. I'm trying to add a gallery feature at this stage. So here you see that the gallery is automatically added, and if I wanted to pick a data source, I can go ahead and pick that over here. So why I'm taking some negative use case examples as well. Sometimes it might not run to your expectation, but it improves over a period of time. That is important to learn, right? That the same thing improves over a period of time. Now we will do another thing. We will see if the Copilot, which is embedded within a Canva app, right? So I'm just going to run this one. Here we are having a student data as an example. So here the virtual assistant is being embedded within where I'm saying, hi, how can I help you with today? And I'm asking about what is Power Automate. So since this is a Canva app related to a student data, I'm just churning it in, and you can see a lot of relevant information that is coming my way with hyperlinks in. So again, you can do those using Copilot Studio. You can embed this kind of a scenario also into your Canva app, right? That is also quite possible at this stage. Just a second. Any questions till this point on CoPilot in Canva app or the embedding. This is basically a Canva app. This is basically a Copilot Studio, which is embedded. So you can definitely create a lot more using Copilot Studio experience, and you can use it in your application as well. Next, we will talk about Microsoft Copilot and Power Automate. Before we move there, let me just see if there are any questions. Okay, so this question will require a bit more time, so I will take it towards the end. How to preview the chatbot feature and how to connect the chatbot from the studio with my sandbox. Okay, that's a good question. We can take it up towards the end. I can take you through that. Now let's talk about. Sorry, I was just taking a water break in between. So now let's talk about Microsoft Copilot in case of Power Automate, what is available as of today in Power Automate. So we use Power Automate for a lot of our automations, and it is kind of become the go-to tool for low code or a no code approach kind of automation for our business applications or for our Power Platform applications. So what Microsoft Copilot and Power Automate enables us is the creation of automation again through natural language expression. I can just use natural language expressions, and I can go ahead and create certain kinds of Power Automate right from scratch if I wanted to. It also allows me to describe what I need through conversational steps, making it more intuitive and accessible for more people. Since it's a low code or a no code engine for automating our business process, it definitely makes sense to have a kind of level of flexibility in which AI is able to help me make it more intuitive and accessible. Copilot can also understand user intent. It can auto set up your connections. It can apply you necessary parameters if required be, and it can respond to requests for changes or questions about the flow. This is optimized for English and is powered by the Azure OpenAI service internally. Microsoft integration of Copilot across Power Platform has been very significant step in AI transformation in for our organization, and the one with Power Automate really helps us with automating our business processes and also getting the AI capabilities. Now there are two ways I can do it. I can, for creating a new flow, I can say I will describe it to design it. For editing an old flow, I can say edit with Copilot, right? So there are two ways I can go ahead and try this out. I can from scratch say I want to create a new flow and I will describe it and how I will design it. And for editing an old flow, you will now get a button on your ribbon apart from edit with Copilot. If I wanted to go ahead and edit with Copilot, I can get it there. Now, what are the system capabilities that are available in Copilot for Power Automate? Let's talk about that. The system in a Copilot, which is embedded with Power Automate, it gives you a flow designer itself with Copilot. What you can do a create a new flow from scratch. You can edit an existing flow according to the given instruction. You can answer question about a current flow being edited. So you can get an answer about, okay, this is that particular step I wanted information about that. I can answer general documentation question on Power Automate. So if there is some general documentation related question, I can do that. I can filter out questions not related to Power Automate or the current flow. If there are certain questions which are not related, I can filter them out. And it also provides me buttons to prompt to save or test flow occasionally. So if you wanted to save and test flow, it provides that kind of a buttons also occasionally. When I say occasionally, it means it's not all the time. It doesn't mean that we can just run it and we can forget to save our Power Automate. But it does provide those, but we need to pick the option and then only it can save or test the particular flow. So we will see this in action now. So I will go ahead and try a new automated cloud flow. We'll skip this and we will will get this Copilot screen. What we are trying to do is when a row is added to account, I want to create a record in contacts. So as you can see, it automatically added a action and a trigger. So what we did, we just clicked on automated cloud flow. I just typed in, okay, whenever a row is added to a particular account, I want to create record in contacts. So you see, here's your flow, and it added that. It was that quick. Definitely, if I wanted to make changes, that's also possible within the engine. Since this is a embedded video, it is rotating, but the idea is for us to understand, okay, how quickly it can help me. So can it do really complex scenarios at this stage where we are today in the journey of Copilot? No, but it gives me a starting point. It gives me, I can pick a certain step and say, okay, I want to add a particular step, a certain action. I can, then I will need to update information. Yes, in this example, you can see I might need to update some connectors, right? Okay, or I want to provide some parameters in. So that all it will definitely ask. Now let's talk about new ways to create tables as well. I'm moving a bit on the customization side of the house. Normally, what we do is we go ahead and create tables from scratch, right? We go and say we'll describe or we'll create a new table and then we'll go ahead and do certain things. The updated table page in case of Power Platform now provides you new features and improvements, whereas wherein you can go ahead and you can create your table more interactively. You do have Excel integration as well. Uh, but the one which we are really talking about is adding a new table. So as you saw here, I wanted to create a table for bonuses just to capture bonuses. So all I need to do is I can say bonus and it created some sample information for us for adding those bonuses in, right? So for example, you saw the information for name, amount, type, date, and then you can make your tweaks as well if you wanted. If you chose that you wanted to go ahead and create an app out of it, it will allow you to do that as well. But obviously you will start with the data and then you will move forward. But it does provide that kind of a interface where you can easily go ahead and create those new tables. This is very useful in demonstration, some quick proof of concepts you are trying to do, or you are trying to do some very generic scenario from scratch. It will give you a lot of information preset, right? And then you can add the information field or customizations file that you want to do, you can add on top. Now, what does Microsoft Copilot offer and what are the several advantages that it offers to us? Productivity. So if I talk about the example of the app I saw for employee data, if something like that has to be created, earlier you'll have to create everything from scratch. You'll have to connect a data source. I'll have to create some field and I have to put some sample information in. So it does definitely enhances my productivity in terms of implementing tools and strategies. And in the I took the app and the table structure example. But when we talk about automation, when we want to automate the process, when we want to make tweaks to it, when we want to utilize that information, not only from the maker experience, from the end user experience. So we talked about and we saw a scenario of embedding a chatbot right into the Canva app. So this kinds of user facing scenarios can also be lit up, which can enhance the productivity. Collaborative features, it facilitates our teamwork with helping us with real-time editing, or if you wanted to communicate, let's take the examples of Dynamics 365 for sales, where it can help me with my email and drafting it very quickly, making it look more formal, making it look longer, and keeping it more in sync with the data that is underneath. It helps with learning and development as well. Now, I can, as a new user to the application or a low code, no code platform, I can quickly gain more out of the entire suite of the application based on this particular added helps that I'm getting or assistance that I'm getting. Customization, it can help me with my daily to day-to-day table creation jobs, or to a degree to the process automation jobs, and to a degree to what I'm trying to do with my Canva app or a Dynamics 365 app for sales. and more are in, right? For example, there is assistance for project operations, field service, whatnot today. I just took the example of sales in the interest of time, but there is obviously Copilot assistance that is added in the other areas as well. Efficiency, you can optimize this processes and systems. Whatever time you save on not doing this mundane things, you can do and utilize in improving your automation or enhancing your customization or app. Multilingual support, though there are certain things that are only supported by when I looked at creating this trial, only support for English United States, but obviously there is multilingual support also available, including Copilot Studio. Accessibility, it also helps you in accessibility because this can be used by people with a wide range of abilities and disabilities, right? Just because we have added the Copilot engine to it. I hope with those demonstrations we got a good kind of idea about what Copilot entails. I wanted to keep some 8 to 10 minutes for Q&A as well. So we will take up those questions now, if that's okay, Venkatesh.
Yeah, sure. You
Yeah,
need a
sure.
help
So
in reading
no,
the
no,
questions?
I will take it up. I'm just reading through. Just give me a quick second. And if there are more, we can definitely add it in. And I'm more than happy if you want to unmute yourself and then ask it. But let's take the questions which are already there, right? So let me start with the first question. 1 second. At this moment, I have not seen Copilot enabled for custom tables, and there are limitations to the. This is the first question, right? And there are certain limitations to the number of fields you can keep between 4 to 10 fields. So the information capture is also between 4 to 10 fields. I can pass links later on into this particular chat, right? In terms of the where it is. Um, and questions not working again. I said this is the kind of first iteration. So you saw in my demonstration as well. This is a question from Rukla. So as you saw, many times it doesn't work, but it improves over a period of time. Still, if it is not working out and you are on a licensed tenant, you can definitely go and reach out to Microsoft with a support ticket. They definitely tweak it in, right? Since I was using trial, I wanted to capture scenarios which are really close to the real world, and you saw certain things were not working in my case as well. What are the limitations of Copilot now in sale? Again, a question from Manoj. Currently, also written if this adding additional cost to customers with license. For licensing, I can pass a separate link. I don't want to get into the licensing side of the house today. That's a separate, total separate conversation. Microsoft licensing is always a big thing to talk about. Limitations, I did discuss in one particular slide what is available as of today. That is what is available, right? Whatever you don't see is not available, but there is a huge roadmap to it. And again, you can check with your Microsoft Connect, or if you are not connected via your partner channel, or you can reach out separately and we can talk about what's upcoming. This is the let's talk. Let's call it the first iteration of where we are. I want to preview the chatbot feature. This is from Ritik, and then how to connect the chatbot from Copilot Studio with my sandbox. 1 second. So what we did in this one is we created one chatbot. Okay, I created a chatbot and then I added iframe, and in the SRC we put in the particular chatbot. That is the way to integrate what I used. If there are any more productive ways, you can definitely update me. But the one which I used is this one. When we create a Canva app with Copilot, next question is from Sai Krishna. When we create a Canva app with Copilot, does the app get created in a specific solution? I don't think it goes into a specific solution at all. I have not seen that happening. It just goes outside. We will need to include it if that's the question. If the question is something else, you can definitely ask. But uh, you when you create it using Canva app, it just directly goes outside any given solution. You need to include in the solution that you want. And yeah, Venkata there has shared a best practice. Thank you, Venkata, for that. You should go ahead, but when you use it, it goes to a specific one. Is Copilot question from Rohit capable of building the entire flow, say, of 10 actions without needing to give prompt to add every action? At some stage, it will. I have not seen that happening, Rohit, right now, but it can be. If that day comes, that's the fear we all. I see many consultants asking me if that's possible. Many of our consultant jobs or architect jobs will really be under challenge, and that's as much I can tell on a public forum. If it's able to do everything, then it's a starting stage. It will give assistance. Consider it a tool that will assist you, and you can utilize it. If it will create your own 10 or 50 or 100 steps, everything is done, then what will we require to do, right? It doesn't do that yet. And also sign the role, not get connected with Sandbox. Ritik, I will. It's a very specific question to your instance, so I might not be able to give full justice to this particular question. But if you are having a licensed one, I will suggest you to contact Microsoft, or we can talk offline about it. So though that was the last set of questions I had. I hope I am able to answer as much based on my learning. One more set of things that I wanted to cover. So whatever I'm learning on Copilot, I've been experimenting with it for quite some time now. I am adding it to this playlist on my YouTube channel. So you can definitely, whatever experiments you're seeing today and more that I'll keep doing, will keep on adding to this YouTube channel of mine. Obviously, Venkatesh will, I hope the recording will be shared as well for this particular session. But I have decided that I will keep adding my Copilot content to this playlist. So if you want to tag it, you want to subscribe to it, that's great, right? This is the playlist that I'm utilizing, and Copilot is quite intuitive. There are some scenarios around embedded Outlook scenarios which are beautiful, which I would want to cover, but maybe Venkatesh will invite me for another session in the near future, or I would do it via my playlist. But if you really are interested in Copilot and want to see more deep dive around all this, this is here. Some of these things have changed because earlier in the preview, Microsoft is having a full set of rights to change the thing around. So you might not find things in the same menu, or say things have tweaked a bit, but it will give you a good idea about what things are where. And I'm going to keep on adding to this particular content as well. And if you wanted to reach out to me, there are multiple mediums. Like you can reach out to my YouTube. I do have a podcast, but which I have not been doing for a while. I also blog for last 11 years. There are 450 plus blogs on Dynamics 365 CE, and I have not updated Twitter to X yet. We consultants are something lazy. I will update this after this one, but it's now X. I'm a bit less active on X ever since it's been X. I have made it X, but I am very reachable on LinkedIn as well. And Power 365 as usual towards the end. If you have anything to discuss on Dynamics 365, CE or Power Platform, feel free to get in touch. With that, I will say thank you, and I will give it over back to you, Venkatesh, sorry. Venkata came along, so I was just so excited. So sorry about that. I hope, I hope with the limited time we had, I was able to rush through. I was rushing through, as you might have noticed, but there was a
It
lot of
was
content I
a
wanted
pretty
to.
great session, Dipesh. So we had understood the way how Microsoft is functioning and what Copilot is giving, and it's still a lot of learning in a small time. It's not possible to cover as much as we do, but definitely we'd love to host one more session with you, and looking forward for it. And thank you so much for taking your time and giving us. It means a lot to us, and we are very happy to host you. So we have our next session coming up on 28th April, and the speaker is Mohammed Kubaib, and he'll be doing it on Azure Site Recovery for business continuity and disaster recovery. So we'll sure share the flyer on our pages. So I have also given you our social media channels in the chat. So please do follow us. And once this session is over, we'll also upload the recording in our YouTube channel. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thanks everyone for your time and joining.
Thank you, Venkatesh, for invitation. Thank you for everyone to attend with me on a Friday evening in most parts of the world. And I hope this was good use of your time. Happy weekend to everybody.
Thank you. See you. Bye.